a free-for-all fireworks insanity, New Year's celebration on the beach, and rooftop cocktail bars. This week, we're all over the world for New Year's.
Traveling the world to bring you delicious dishes, tasty beverages, and interesting experiences. This is the Destination Eat Drink Podcast on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
I'm Brent Peterson. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink. Destination Eat Drink is for foodies who love to travel and travelers who love to eat. And we're wishing you a Happy New Year from New Zealand, Italy, Thailand, and much more on this week's show. But first, let me ask you to rate and review Destination Eat Drink. It's super easy to do. Just go to your podcast app and give us those 5 stars. It really helps to get the word out about the show. And if you're thinking of a trip to Portugal or Spain in 2025, check out my ebooks. I have foodie travel guides to 24 cities in Portugal and Spain, outlining not only the best things to do, but also all the things to eat and drink in places like Lisbon and Porto, Seville and San Sebastian, and other lesser-known places that you must visit if you're a foodie traveler. Each guide is only $2.99 to $5.99, and if you're coming to Portugal, I put together 17 foodie travel guide cities for just $9.99. All of my Portugal guides in one place for $9.99. Get your ebook at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink/extras, and thank you very, very much. Okay, let's put on our party hats and toast in 2025.
Destination Eat Drink.
Tomo from Eat This Food Tours in Georgia tells me about why New Year's was traditionally more important than Christmas. Tomo Williams from Eat This Food and Wine Tours. Welcome back to Destination Eat Drink. I want to talk to you about New Year's in Georgia because I think this is such a unique celebration that I haven't heard anything much like this anywhere else in Europe.
Yeah. They sort of changed the way that everything worked during the Soviet era, and New Year's Eve became more important than Christmas, even though it's a very sort of Christian nation. It's an Orthodox Christian nation. Orthodox Christmas is actually in January, so it's the 7th of January. So New Year's even comes before Christmas, so it sort of makes it even more of a big thing. But what they do is that the entire city is sort of a free-for-all of fireworks insanity. It's completely wild. It's not like there's an organized show as such or anything. Basically, everybody in the whole city goes out and buys fireworks, and they're all setting them off from their balconies, and they're running out in the streets and setting fireworks off. And so from like 11:55 to about 12:15, midnight 15, it's just complete pandemonium. In every direction you look, fireworks are just going off everywhere. So it's probably hazardous and crazy, but it's sort of fun and exciting at the same time.
We had you on the show earlier this year talking about Georgian wine, which was a fascinating subject. I encourage people to go back and listen to that episode. But I wanted to ask you, New Year's is famous for champagne, popping the corks on a new year. What would be a celebration like with a Georgian family for New Year's?
I mean, obviously people have sparkling wine here as well. That's part of the tradition. It's not like a historic part of the tradition, but I mean, people would drink that sort of wine. A lot of people will be drinking amber wine, which is the white wine made with skin contact. And for parties and events, which like a Supra, for example, which we talked about in the podcast on food earlier in the year, you'd be drinking amber wine more than red wine, and you'd be doing toasts and celebrating. But one of the main things people do on New Year's is they go to their family just before midnight. Some people will spend the whole night with the family, but some people head there just before midnight for the main celebration. And one of the traditions that they do is that after midnight, after they set off all their fireworks out of the balcony and that sort of thing, and done lots of toasts and celebrated the new year starting, the first person to knock on their front door and come through their front door after midnight on New Year's is considered like an auspicious sign as to what the year will be, the following year will be. So you sort of have to coordinate and make sure that The person who's going to turn up is someone that maybe you think it's going to be lucky that they turn up. It's not going to be sort of weird and awkward, or you forget to invite anyone, and the next day someone turns up with a package for delivery or something weird, and you're like, oh my God, the first person to knock on my door this year was just the delivery guy. That's not a good sign. So they have this tradition that the first person to cross the threshold back into the apartment after midnight is going to be a sign that dictates what the year will be like. So that's quite a crazy tradition. But yeah, there'll be lots of wine and lots of food, of course.
So you got to make sure that you invite the right person to your door. Maybe make sure they arrive at 12:01 so that you're not going to be tempting luck and it's the perfect person. Because it would really suck if I knocked on someone's door and their face fell as soon as they opened the door on New Year's Day. They're like, no, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, don't just go around knocking on doors if you're a foreigner here at midnight. You're going to get a lot of angry people being like, who are you? You've just ruined my year. Or maybe not. Maybe they think it was a great sign that that a foreigner knocked on their door, and they'll be going on a trip to France or something because a French person knocked on their door. You can interpret it any way you like, I guess, with these things.
So you mentioned, it's fairly well known that the Soviet Empire was anti-religion, and you mentioned how they suppressed the Christmas celebration. So I'm wondering, is there any kind of religious component on New Year's related to Christmas? Because it's unusual from a Western standpoint to have a Christmas celebration after New Year's rather than the week before. So I'm wondering, on New Year's, is there any religious component to it?
It was, New Year's Eve itself was always, in Soviet times, fully secular, of course. And I don't believe that they've carried over or created religious elements to it, because there were no religious elements to New Year's Eve before the Soviets made that a secular holiday. It was sort of imposed upon people. One of the reasons for this is because the 31st of December in the Gregorian calendar is not New Year's Eve. So the 31st of December was not historically a New Year's Eve date for Georgians, because they use a different calendar system. Actually, the 14th of January is New Year's Eve for the historic Gregorian calendar. So obviously we have the Julian calendar in Western Europe, and the dates are a little bit different. So yeah, it was a completely artificial situation. I think the Soviets bringing this holiday in, but it was so ingrained after, I think during the Russian Empire as well, to some extent. Maybe they would have been affected by that as well. I'm not sure, but that has sort of left its mark as being a separate tradition from Christmas, which is the week after.
The idea of exchanging gifts has permeated almost every culture, every Western culture around the world. I'm wondering, when do kids open their presents in Georgia?
On New Year's Eve, it is often traditional that you can receive gifts then, and gift giving will be done then. And the 6th and 7th of January, like the Christmas Eve and Christmas, Orthodox Christmas, is less about gift giving, and it's more of a religious occasion. So it's less modernized, and it's more about spending time with family and going to church and that sort of thing. So primarily a lot of gift giving is actually on New Year's Eve and not on Christmas Day.
Gian is the founder of Explore Manila Tours. He tells me about the crazy fireworks displays all over Manila for New Year's. What is New Year's like in the Philippines?
If you're young, you go out and party and all that. Historically, here in the Philippines, the New Year's was always something you spent with family. Because of the modern world, a lot of the younger generation, especially the early 20s and 30s, they'll go out to party, especially if you live in the city. But for the most part, for the bulk of the country, you'd still be with family, and you have that big feast as well. It depends on the family. Sometimes it's a little bit more muted versus the Christmas feast. But in general, you'll still see that the ham, you'll still see the, the whole roasted pig. Sometimes the joke is you prepared so much food a week ago in Christmas that it's the same food you're going to have for the new year. In our family, for example, we always love to have pastas, for our big family gatherings, and we make it like a rule wherein if we have red sauce for Christmas, we have to have either oil based or cream sauce for New Year. just so it's not the same thing again and again.
Nice.
And yeah, and another thing here in the Philippines is so this was influenced by the Chinese that have historically been coming and visiting here in the Philippines for the last 1,000 years or so. Fireworks are everywhere here in the Philippines. If you find yourself here in the Philippines during the New Year season, because many people, like, it's freezing cold in North America at that point in time, so they'll do an Asian vacation during the Christmas season. Try to find yourself in a major city in the Philippines and try to rent an Airbnb or an apartment in a tall building, because it's gonna beat every 4th of July fireworks show you've ever seen. And this is not like, it's not run by the local government. This is all just private homes just shooting fireworks, both legal and illegal, into the air.
Oh my goodness. That reminds me of when we were in Sicily years ago, and it's like there's fireworks. I'm like, is the city? No, these are just people. Everyone has their own stash of fireworks, and they're going off all night. It's a crazy show.
These fireworks, they start being sold as early as September.
Millie and Jenny are the brains behind Eat Kinda, the New Zealand company that makes unique vegan ice cream. They tell me about celebrating Kiwi New Year's that falls in the middle of summer. Millie and Jenny from Eat Kinda Ice Cream in New Zealand. Welcome back to Destination Eat Drink. I wanted to have you on the show today to talk about New Year's in New Zealand, because one of my fondest memories in New Zealand is welcoming in the new year when it's the middle of summer. Now, this must be normal to you, but to folks who grew up in the Northern Hemisphere, we're used to putting on gloves and mittens and hats and bundling up to go out for New Year's. Tell me about your New Year's in New Zealand.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people in New Zealand, it's normally up north or in the Coromandel or somewhere nice with a beach, probably camping in the middle of nowhere with no cell reception. And enjoying the day, probably with a few beers or wine. And yeah, I think it's pretty cruisy. Yeah, barbecue. Yep. Just very cruisy, I think. New Zealanders, pretty chill people. We just love just sitting, doing nothing by the beach, really.
Yeah, by the beach or a river or a lake with a barbecue and family, or sometimes there's some music festivals that see us into the new year.
Yes, that is true. A lot of the young crowds do like to go. There's some big music festivals like R&V and Bay Dreams, and so you get a lot of the young crowds going to these massive music festivals.
Oh, on the east coast of the North Island, I'm pretty sure it's the first place in the world to see the new year in, like the
Isn't it?
sunrise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be lying.
We were in Napier for the New Year's, and that is on the east side of the North Island, if I'm not mistaken. And just a little bit north of there, there's a little peninsula. I forget the name of the city. It starts with a G, I think. And they have a music festival there, like you were talking about, and that's the first place. But we were maybe the second place that New Year's was rung in. And I remember it distinctly because I can picture myself now. I was wearing shorts and a T-shirt, and Napier has these beautiful black sand beaches. And I had a log for a pillow, was looking up at the fireworks in the sky, listening to the music, and just thinking, this is the coolest place on the planet right now.
I'm glad you had that experience, Brent. Sounds awesome.
Lucian Reed Drake is the founder of a chef's tour, a foodie tour company based in Bangkok. He tells me about Thai New Year's celebrations.
Well, we celebrate in style along with the rest of the world, but certainly we'll head down to the river. That's where the official countdown is, the Chao Phraya River. And if you're feeling up for it, there's an excellent dinner cruise where you can listen to music, see the spectacular fireworks over the skyline of Bangkok. But if you don't fancy a cruise, there are so many different rooftops to jump up on for the best views and great cocktails. You can bounce from one to the other, but you've got plenty of choices here. And if you're feeling even more energetic post-midnight, the place to head to is a street called Khao San. Khao San Road has become known for the backpackers mecca, but certainly on New Year's, this place is filled just like it is in Songkran, the water festival of Thailand. That's the place to see lots of people having a real great time. And if you are away from the city of Bangkok, I like to celebrate with you on the beach, because the beach resorts of the south are renowned, especially in Koh Phangan, where they have the full moon party. So if you like to paint yourself in neon light, neon colors, and dance the night, then head to Koh Phangan.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Normally in the West, we would probably pop a bottle of champagne at midnight to celebrate. Is there a specific drink that we would toast to, or a drink that we would enjoy on New Year's Eve?
If you want something stronger, the Lad Krau rice whiskey is a good thing to celebrate a new year, or the Samsung rum. The Thais celebrate much like the rest of the world. Champagne is also found on these rooftops, so you can be sure to find a drink for all tastes.
Is there a fireworks display typically like we would have in the West?
Oh, the fireworks are absolutely spectacular. Yeah, to see them reflect off the river, it is boom shaking from wherever you stand in the city. So even if you can't make a rooftop, I'm sure you'll see some part of these fireworks, because they are also not so much regulated here, so many locals buy their own from 7-Eleven to explode on their own rooftops.
I have to imagine being on one of those rooftop bars, it would be spectacular to watch the fireworks on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Don't miss it. It's wonderful. And nice and warm as well, so you can stay out with shorts and t-shirt, and unlike in Europe.
Sylvia from Taste Bologna Tours is based in Ravenna, Italy, where we'll enjoy sparkling wine for New Year's. What kind of things, if I happen to find myself in Ravenna on New Year's Eve, what would I expect?
Ravenna, it's very quiet all over the year. So also during New Year's Eve, they prepare festivals and events. Of course, if there are tourists coming, but mainly for locals. So what we like to do, it's partying at home, celebrating at home, but the city organize concerts, usually on the night of the 31st of 31 December, they organize a concert. And in the main square, in the middle, there is a big Christmas tree, and all around all the little huts of the vendors of Christmas gifts, like a Christmas market. And in all around, not only in the city, but also in the near villages, there are exhibitions of nativities. So it's lively. It's lively with the Christmas lights inspired by the decorations you can see in the mosaics. So are really, really well done, the Christmas lights in the city. And it goes smooth, it's quiet. It doesn't snow in Ravenna, so don't expect to snow, because it was snowing in the past like once every 10 years. 8 years, something like this. And the city is not prepared. So what we did was just waiting the snow melted, and that was all. School closed, everything closed, the silence frozen in the snow. But it's so rare. Now it's impossible, I think. It could be a little bit humid, because, Ravenna, it's humid in the summer and in the winter, but I think that's not a big deal. There are more good things to do and see, and no problem, even if it's humid.
I would probably have some champagne or some sparkling wine on New Year's Eve to toast in the new year. Is there a sparkling wine that's particularly popular in Ravenna?
Sparkling white wine, I guess. No, I guess.
What should I drink then on New Year's Eve? I gotta have at least one drink.
No, we use like a Prosecco Valdobbiadene, but it's from the Prosecco we use, or instead of champagne, most of the times come from the northern, from Veneto, Veneto region, Treviso now, I think. Oh, it's already in the UNESCO list. They joined the goal to become UNESCO for the strain of Prosecco. That's most local sparkling we can find. Probably somebody will kill me hearing that. But
yeah, I was going to say we should start making some. We could use some local Sangiovese, some local Albana, and we can come up with our own little sparkling wine blend for New Year's Eve in Ravenna. What do you think, Sylvia?
Mainly our white are stark, are very stiff as wine. No bubbles, bubbles at all.
Okay, that's Sylvia from Taste Bologna. We're going to have her on the show for a full episode about the fascinating city of Ravenna in just a couple of weeks. You don't want to miss that. You can find out more about her tours at tastebologna.net. I've also got links to Tomo, Gian, Millie and Jenny, and Lucian in the show notes. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, a brand new year, and we're celebrating with French wine from Bordeaux, fortified wine from Seville, and German immigrants making wine in the New World. Don't miss that. Until then, I've got a bunch of foodie travel stuff for you at destinationeatdrink.com. There's a new video from Ponta Delgada in the Azores where I have a great food crawl with an amazing eggplant dish. If you don't like eggplant, I don't know what to say. You're going to love this dish, I think. Also, some delicious chocolate mousse. It's so good, I have to finish it by running my finger through the bowl. And the famous Azorean cheese. You can see all that by clicking on the video tab at destinationeatdrink.com. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@destinationeatdrink946. I also have a new story on the website about a tiny church in Portugal where the royal family set sail after the monarchy was overthrown 100 years ago. You can read that at destinationeatdrink.com/blog. And don't forget, you can pick up my foodie travel guide ebooks at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink/extras. I've got almost 20 cities in Portugal. I've got several in Spain as well, Milan, Italy. They only cost $2.99 to $5.99. And if you're coming to Portugal, there's the 17-city Portugal foodie travel guide ebook for just $9.99. 17 cities, everything to do, all the best stuff to eat, all the best drinks, all in one place. So you can read it on your tablet, on your phone, or on your computer. Like I said, get that at buymeacoffee.com/destinationeatdrink/extras. And thank you very, very much. Destination Eat Drink is distributed by the Radio Misfits Podcast Network and Ed Silla. Thanks, Ed. I'm Brent Peterson. I'll see you in 2025 down the road.
Join us next week for another culinary adventure on Destination Eat Drink, a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.